should I fight against this love and feeling? I'm gonna get me some sexual healing, 'cause my heart's strong enough to take it. If we try, I know we're gonna make it. So the time has come, I wanna do it, 'cause I know you'll never put me through it. Gotta catch that train, it won't come again. Yes, the time is here and it's disappearing. I gotta buy me a one-way ticket to love. Let me tell you why. You sent me flying right up to the stars above, and I can't deny it. I'm loving you, you're loving me. Love me forever and ever. We've got a love that's meant to be. I know I love you forevermore. Tonight it's a driving me crazy. Just when I should be all soft and lazy, I feel my heart start to beating faster, but I never know what's the matter. And my pulse, you know I feel it racing, but I don't know what's the dream I'm chasing. Gotta make a start, satisfy my heart. I can run to fly if I'm really trying. I gotta buy me a one-way ticket to love. Let me tell you why. You sent me flying right up to the stars above, and I can't deny it. I gotta buy me a one-way ticket to love. Let me tell you why. You sent me flying right up to the stars above, and I can't deny it.
My name is Jeremy Norman, and in 1979, having run a very successful club called the Embassy Club in Bond Street, I fulfilled my dream of opening London's largest discotheque, which we called an ultra disco, and it was in Charing Cross and became the world-renowned Heaven Club. And Heaven started the craze for high energy music, which transferred itself to the Saint in New York and became a popular dance genre, and remains so to this day. In fact, heaven type music, high energy music, is still played in the charts right up until the present day, and that's now 21 years later.
Ian Levine came to me. He was looking for an arranger for tracks he was producing with Tyrone Ashley, Evelyn Thomas. We laid down disco backing tracks, and then we put on the orchestral sweetening. That would be the sweeping strings and the brass section and so forth. In time, this led to my being a co-writer with Ian and a co-producer. And one of our first big hits was My Claim to Fame with James Wells. Then we worked with 7th Avenue, Eastbound Expressway, Quasette. Then disco, it was said, had sort of taken a bit of a dive. But Ian stuck to it. He believed that there was a life there. And within a matter of a few years, we came up with the high energy concept. And the first big hit we had, much bigger than we'd ever expect, with 2 million sales, was with Michael Brown, So Many Men, So Little Time. Subsequently, a year later, we worked with Evelyn Thomas, a song that we wrote the bones of in 20 minutes. As I well recall, we had a great hit with High Energy, and that sold 7 million.
At the very, very early stage, Record Shack was just a hip record store for DJs to come and buy unusual records. Ian Levine, who was so driven and talented, turned this into a multi-million selling record label machine, I would say. I was part of it because I introduced him to Henry Bellolo, who was the guy who created the Village People, and who in the early 80s had already the most successful dance label in France. So he basically, with me, financed Record Shack Records. And if I remember right, I think between Utter Kit and High Energy and Break Machine, Ian sold some 12 million records in 1 year, which by any standard is quite phenomenal.
I was fortunate enough in the 80s to be able to pioneer a whole movement in dance music. I'd been quite a successful disco producer in the 70s, had hits in America like 24 Hours a Day by Barbara Pennington and James Wells' My Claim to Fame, record which pioneered what became known as high energy later on. And because America decided disco was dead and they turned their back on it, in 1979 there was a big slump in disco sales and all the record companies stopped putting out disco records. I was left with 3 unfinished LPs that I couldn't sell, and I had to go back to DJing again, which was my first form of making a living. And I was there at the beginning to open heaven on December the 6th, 1979. But from then until 1983, I longed to get back into making records again. And an old record I made in the 70s by a group called d'Elegance, called Chanson d'Elegance, which I'd done with a partner of mine in Los Angeles called Rick Giannatos. That was put out like 3 years after we made it and sort of made a bit of a buzz, not only on the club charts in America, but also on the new, what was known as the gay disco Boys Town market in England.
I was working in the Copacabana in Earls Court in '78, where the disco started, and then went on to becoming high energy, and there was only Bangs and Copa at the time that were playing this type of music, and very popular.
I was the first DJ that ever worked at Bangs, which was the very first club that attracted gay people and specialised in high energy music. And from there I moved to Bolts, which was in North London, both clubs we attracted a huge amount of people. On an average night I guess we got about 2,000 people in each evening, and we also had a lot of famous high energy guest stars appear there from time to time.
In the late 70s, myself and Ian Levine, we used to go to a shop in Hanway Street in the West End, Quicksilver. We used to buy our records there. Then they were finished and we had to start looking for somewhere to buy the records that we wanted. Good dance music. And we hunted around, and then we found Groove Records in Greek Street in the West End. They were good, but they weren't fulfilling our needs in the type of music that we wanted. We wanted more high energy style music, even though it wasn't called that then. But they did their best, and then we found another record shop, which was called Record Shack, that was in Berwick Street, which I later became manager of. And we spoke to the managers there and asked them if they could start getting us some of the records we wanted. And they said yes, providing we spent the money and we were buying them. They didn't mind. We said, well, we owe other people that would want to come and buy them, the customers. We were always being asked for the names of records. And we would send them down there. So then that's where the friendship grew between myself, Jeff and Howard, who were the managers of the shop, who owned it, and Ian Levine.
And we were buying all our records from a record shop in Soho in London called Record Shack in Berwick Street. And they were very keen to get into making records. They just started their own little label, Record Shack Records. And I put a proposition to them. I said, I want to make a classic sort of gay disco anthem, and we'll sell 10,000 records because there's enough of a market. And we planned the whole thing out, that if we made this record on a shoestring, and if we managed to piece it together and on a budget of £2,000, and we could press up 10,000, it would cost us £1 a record, we sell it for £2 a record, so we'd make £10,000 profit, which would split between us, me, Record Shack and myself, and the artist. I went out and found Michael Brown, who was a disco artist that not many people had heard of, but had some cult records in the 70s, and did this song called So Many Men, So Little Time, which was a slogan I saw on a t-shirt in Los Angeles several years earlier, and I always had it in mind one day to make a song called So Many Men, So Little Time. Well, we planned to sell 10,000. I rushed off to the Saint in New York, the other big high energy club at the time, and Robbie Leslie, the DJ there, premiered it at the Easter party on a Saturday night, and the place stopped cold, the lights all went out, and he put the beginning of the record on, and as the sort of boop, 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 intro rose up, The place started screaming and went nuts, and by the Monday morning it was the talk of New York. And we went on to sell 2 million copies. We budgeted for 10,000, but we sold 2 million. Although it wasn't a hit in England, it was #1 in France, and it led to the creation of high energy music.
This fast disco music, when being reviewed by Billboard magazine, was given the label high energy. So the genre was now called high energy, and we decided that we would write a song, High Energy, which fortunately became an anthem for that music.
I decided to make a song called High Energy and found my old Northern Soul artist Evelyn Thomas, who I'd had quite a few Northern Soul and disco records with, and get her in from America, something I couldn't have afforded to do earlier on. The only way we ever got to make the first record, So Many Men, was because my friend JP Iliesco, who owned Trident Studios, actually said, he says, "Ian, my friend, if I come in at the middle of the night after you DJ at Heaven, I give you some very cheap time as a favor." So we actually went and we just worked through the night till 8 or 9 in the morning and made this record on a shoestring.
In about '83, Ian was with Record Shack, and they had run out of money, and we made a deal so that they could use the studio in the middle of the night when Ian finished his DJ session at Heaven. So everybody was happy. It was the perfect time for Ian to work. It was downtime for us, and the first big hit to be created in one of these magic nights was Too Many Men, Too Little Time. And that was basically the high energy sound to replace the disco sound of the 70s.
After Record Shack started becoming famous for producing high energy music, other labels tried to cash in, and a lot of them were successful. There was Electricity with Kev Roberts, Proto, Barry Evangeli, Passion with Anne Plaxton, ERC with Marvin Howell, Fanfare with Simon Cowell.
I started Passion Records in 1983. It rapidly became one of the leading high energy labels in the UK alongside Record Shack. We had some fantastic artists at the time who had major successes. People like Angie Gold, Eastbound Expressway, Marsha Raven, The Flirtations, Quasette, Astaire. Lots and lots of fantastic artists who went on to do amazing things worldwide.
I took over the running of Passion Records in 1990 when Anne Plaxton left, and for the last 13 odd years I've basically been running the label. And even though we don't put out so many new records these days, the old repertoire has consistently been popular, particularly abroad, where we've licensed it endlessly to compilations, particularly in the Far East, Japan, Singapore, places like that. And to this day, it still amazes me how this music, still has a life beyond, when the high energy scene really ended at the tail end of the 80s, early 90s.
In the early 80s, I used to come, especially on Tuesday night, to Heaven because it was really the most exciting. It was always packed. People would really jump, literally jump to the music. Obviously, from the reaction of the crowds to certain obscure records that Ian had the talent of discovering before anybody else, he started to perceive what could become a new trend, which would lead him to produce these high energy records, which then led to be copied by tens of producers.
I heard some of the greatest tunes, and you cannot It didn't matter to me who was the bass player, who the writer was, who the arranger was. I just absolutely came out of that building that night with probably 10 tunes that I knew would take my audience at that time through the roof. I knew that if I took those to my Mecca in the Midlands and I introduced those songs slowly, they would become absolutely standards with my audience. I knew that my crowd on a Monday night, once they heard that record 3 times, that would become an anthem. I knew it would.
Once the high energy boom was in full sway, the person that took it to a new height was Pete Waterman, who became Britain's most successful producer ever. The team of Stock Aitken Waterman had 300 hits, phenomenal amount. And he's always been very gracious and acknowledged that it was the sound that I pioneered. In fact, I was actually at a big awards ceremony in New York, and they had the High Energy Awards, and they gave Pete Waterman a Lifetime Achievement Award, and he stood on stage and he actually said, "This is the sound that Ian Levine created, and I owe it all to him," and I was very, very touched by that. Pete's influences, like my own, were Northern Soul. Pete was always into Northern Soul, and he was a Northern Soul DJ in the early days, and he took that Northern Soul element and made high energy out of it. In fact, if you look at all those Stock Aitken Waterman hits, they all had Northern Soul type song structures, and Pete Waterman is the first to admit it.
To me, people like Ian Levine knew more than I would ever know about Northern Soul, because if anything, they knew the writers, the producers. Where I differed from them was I have always been at the commercial edge of pop music, even when I was a DJ. You cannot, you're deaf if you can't hear the commercial potential of those records, because they were magnificent, even by anybody's standards, even by standard commercial reasons. Those were outstanding records.
When we started Heaven in 1979, we had a team of people which we took from our previous club, the Embassy Club, which would be, I guess, the London equivalent of Studio 54, the hottest, hippest happening club in London at the time. And I had a vision to create something which would be for a broader audience, a club that held 2,000 people as opposed to 500 people. And in order to launch it, we held a series of parties throughout 1 week. 5 different nights. One night was dedicated particularly to the fashion industry. We had one charity night opening, and I also involved Michael Fish, who had been my front of house greeter at the Embassy Club, who was a famous name in the fashion world. So from his private PR list and my own lists, and also all of those other people involved in Heaven, we managed to get quite a star cast to launch this really very new and innovative club, not only in London, but really throughout Europe. There'd been nothing quite like it before. Totally open, unashamedly gay, upfront, sexy, fun, vibrant, young, and fabulous. And that was the beginning of Heaven and high energy disco.
Jeremy Norman first opened Heaven in 1979, sold it to Richard Branson in, I think it was 1983. And I recently bought it with 2 friends, and we currently run the club in the West End. What we're trying to do is bring it back to its former glory. It was run down a little bit when we took over, but the numbers are up and things are looking very good. We're getting lots of good comments about Heaven, and we're looking at doing some high energy nights there soon.
Heaven opened in '79, and that changed the whole style of the music for the gay scene. It was something new, refreshing. Everybody wanted to go there because it was the place to be. It was as good as anywhere in New York for the music, the lights, the sound, and the atmosphere. And a lot of the clubs around started going downhill, people-wise, because everyone was waiting to go to Heaven on a Saturday night because it was the place to go.
One of my fondest memories of that era was being a DJ at Heaven nightclub with Ian Levine. There were really only 2 clubs that mattered at that particular point. There was Heaven in London and the Saint in New York. And one of the privileges of working alongside Ian and in that time was that we did travel together to the closing down party of the same, which is where we got to see a lot of these high energy acts perform on the last ever night of that legendary nightclub in New York, and that was just an incredible memory.
It's true to say that Heaven was at the epicentre of high energy music, particularly when it started in the 80s in the UK. And I think that Heaven really represented in the UK very much what the Saint was to the New York scene. Obviously Ian Levine was crucial to the whole thing. He produced the music, he played it, he championed the sound, and yes, it's difficult to really minimise the impact that the club had.
High energy certainly has a place in Heaven today, even although it's evolved from what it was in 1983. I think the basis of all music played in gay clubs comes from high energy, which of course comes from Motown, Northern Soul influences. In fact, in the private members bar we still play high energy today, especially on a Monday when the theme is more poppy rather than the harder dance we play at the weekends, and people love it.
If I could only succeed, you are the heaven I'm building my dreams upon. My world has just begun. You are the heaven I need. If I could only succeed, you are the heaven I'm building.
20 years later, looking back at it all those wonderful high energy hits like Michael Brown, So Many Men, So Little Time, Evelyn Thomas, High Energy, 7th Avenue, Love's Gone Mad, all the Barbara Pennington stuff, they're all here on one glorious DVD in their full video glory for you to look back at a wonderful era. Remember those days when you danced all night to the sounds of So Many Men and Searching by Hazel Dean and High Energy? Well, they're back again. Here they are, High Energy, the DVD.
One of the defining moments in the whole high energy movement was the release of High Energy by Evelyn Thomas. It was a huge hit and really established energy music as one of the main genres of dance music at the time.
High Energy by Evelyn Thomas became the anthem for high energy music. It was commercial, good vocals, good singer. Ian brought her over from America.
I was travelling with Michael Brown in the US, and I was asked to go and see Evelyn Thomas sing. When I turned up, she was in the basement of a small pizza restaurant, singing with her husband in attendance, and she won me over. I came back to the UK and said to Jeff that she was definitely the woman to sing the track.
I worked with computers as early as '75. By the time I owned Trident, we had one of the two studios which was completely dedicated to electronic music. And I remember that Hans Zimmer was now the '1 composer in Hollywood. We did Gladiator and Lion King and some other movies that I've forgotten, but was the programmer. Making all the sounds on these computers, and it was really where I came from. And when I opened the door and I heard what they were doing, I took Ian aside and I said, you have a huge hit. This is going to be #1.
For our production of Evelyn Thomas' High Energy, I brought in Hans Zimmer, who was at that time an extremely proficient programmer on electronic musical instruments. Hans had recently acquired a Fairlight, which was a computer musical instrument which had many samples of drums, bass and so forth. Not a lot of people know that that's where Hans was 20 years ago or so. Hans, of course, has since gone on to write film scores for Rain Man, Lion King, Gladiator. He's an Oscar winner, as you know. Recently, in fact, I worked with him on the film Pearl Harbor. So it's been nice that we've kept the connection going all those years.
Evelyn Thomas's High Energy wasn't the first big high energy hit, it was the second. Michael Brown's So Many Men, So Little Time had sold 2 million and led to me being able to do the song High Energy by finding an artist, Evelyn Thomas, who had been my protege, and get her in after not working with her for a few years and get her to make this record, which I wrote for her with Fear of the Trench, with specifically about lifting you up, because she had high swoops in her voice and I wanted to give something that would be an anthem to the music. Usually, when you make a record in the studio, you kind of feel good about it, but once in a blue moon, you know you've got a hit. We wrote the song in an hour, which was very quick for us. We made the whole track in a day, programmed by Hans Zimmer, who went on to win Oscars for The Lion King and Gladiator and loads of other films. And just a lot of magic came together in one day with a synth riff that established high energy music for the next 20 years. And I'm very proud of it. It went on to sell 7 million records and it made my career.
High Energy by Evelyn Thomas was an instant floor filler, an amazing instant floor filler. As soon as that beat came in, you could see the people rush to the floor. Just amazing.
High energy, your love is lifting me. Oh, high energy, your love is lifting me, lifting me high. It was only last week that we first met when I was walking down the street. You came up from behind me and I knew that our eyes were gonna meet. That's when I fell into your arms. Imagine my surprise. I thought this only happened in fairy tales. Love hit me right between the eyes. Oh yeah, high energy. Your love is lifting me. Woo woo, high energy. Yeah, your love is lifting me, lifting me high. When you call me on the phone, you make my spirits rise. I'm glad the others didn't last. It's a blessing in disguise. Every time you're touching me, it gives me such a thrill. When I look deep into your eyes, my heart just can't keep still. Oh no, high energy. Your love is lifting me. Woo woo, high energy. Yeah, your love is lifting me, lifting me high. So high. All the gold that's in Fort Knox couldn't buy this happiness. With your love, I don't need money, I don't need success. I became a victim of a sudden love attack, yeah. It happened in the blink of an eye, and there's no holding back. Oh, high energy, yeah. Your love is lifting me. Woo 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 woo. High energy, ooh yeah. Your love is lifting me, lifting me high.
I remember listening to Michael Brown, So Many Men, so little time and being staggered by the cheek of it, but thinking, what a great record, I wish I'd released that.
So many men, so little time. We had a very limited budget for 2,000 total. So we had to record at Trident Studios in downtime, in the middle of the night, you know, cheap rates. We did everything ourselves in terms of the playing of the instruments, the programming of the instruments. Believe it or not, my daughter and I sang all the backing vocals. We thought it might sell 10, 20,000 copies. We had no idea it was going to go on to sell 2 million copies.
Ian Levine had produced Michael Brown, So Many Men, So Little Time, which I was convinced should be a hit because of that party ambience and that spontaneous energy. And as it didn't seem to capture the English public, I thought that because all of that electronic music started in Europe, it would be normal for it to work on the continent.
It was the record that came out in England, sold 30,000 records in the UK without ever charting, and yet sold 2 million everywhere else, and was #1 in France, #1 on the American dance charts, and in fact was the most played record on the radio the summer of 1983. It created a music form, it created an anthem, and I will be forever grateful.
Michael did a PA at Studio One in Los Angeles, which was the largest gay club there at the time. I think it was on the Friday night, and on the Saturday we were shooting the video of So Many Men. At the end of the performance, she took it upon herself, without saying anything to me, to say if anybody wanted to be in the video, to come and see me afterwards and drag me up on stage. I was inundated after that by so many men wanting to be in the video. It was filmed the following day at a gym on Santa Monica Boulevard, and was on the mezzanine floor. And the thing that I remember quite clearly about this was that on the lower part of the mezzanine there were 50 and 60-year-old women trying to do aerobics and complaining about the noise and the smoke that we were pumping out upstairs. It was really quite an experience.
It's morning, I open my eyes, and everything's still the same. I turn to the guy who stayed last night and ask him, what's your name? This seems to happen more and more. I love those men, one and all. Each new one I meet makes my heart beat fast when I see them so strong and tall. So little time, how can I lose? So little time, how can I choose? They tell me I'm up to no good, I should just settle down. But I don't wanna stay with just one man. I wanna sample what's around. Feels like heaven every night, being here with someone new. Physical thrill, a beautiful smile, and wonderful muscles too. And in me,
Another successful high energy record of the time was Love's Gone Mad by 7th Avenue. Probably looking back now, they were the first, I would think, boy band of the time. Very sexy image, good dancers, which led the way to boy bands that followed them.
When I started having high energy hits with Record Shack, I decided to reform 7th Avenue without a proper lineup as a sort of faceless group, and we made a song called I Hear Thunder, which was so big at the Saint in New York they demanded a group to appear, so we had to form a group. So we put the group together, and then once we got them singing properly on the records and created a proper act, we decided to make another anthem for the high energy market.
America requested to have a real act because it's never been possible in America to promote just a record without a face. So Ian created at that point what I would say was probably the first real boy band with all the teens appeal and the sexiness and the great amount of fun coming out of them, but also really a fantastic sense of movement and rhythm, which made 7th Avenue probably one of the cult bands for people into dance music.
Back in the 70s, Ian and I had produced an album with 7th Avenue. Subsequently, that band went by the wayside. I think they all went back to their day jobs. But Ian had hung on to these names. He liked these names, 7th Avenue, Eastbound Expressway, Croisette. And later on, then after Evelyn Thomas and Michael Brown, we worked again with 7th Avenue. But we didn't have a group now, so we kind of had to put a group together.
Ian gave the group the name 7th Avenue because he'd used that group on a previous album in the 70s, which was successful in the US. After I Hear Thunder, the Saint were crying out for them to appear at the Saint for the Easter weekend of 1984. Ian got together with Fee Trench again and wrote Love's Gone Mad. Love's Gone Mad was bigger than anything we'd experienced previously, with the possible exception of High Energy. And the band that Ian formed were the hottest guys that were in heaven at the time, and flew them out to New York, to the Saint, to do that party at the Easter weekend, which was a huge success.
Hazel Dean, Searching. First time I heard this record was when Hazel actually came to Bolts in Haringey, North London, and I was knocked out with it straight away. Such an energetic woman and an amazing voice. She'd done middle of the road stuff up until Searching, and then she came out of her shell and she blossomed like a flower. Absolutely amazing record, Searching.
Hazel Dean was probably the first record to get what is now a normal treatment, which is be recorded in one studio, mixed in another studio, mixed sometimes by other engineers on the other side of the world. You keep the vocals, change the drums, and I think that Ian was probably one of the first people to practice this and successfully came to Trident to reproduce rather than remix the Hazel Dean record, changing all the drums on it and making it a number, I can't remember if it was 5 or 6, but it was a top 10 hit anyway.
I took this and I completely replaced all the drums, recorded new drums for it, changed the sounds of the record and made a whole different record out of it. So it was the first ever, not just a remix, but remix and additional production, meaning that there was more production involved than just mixing the record as it was. Thank God the record went to be a major hit. I think it went in the charts at number 6, I think it went higher than that. It was a huge crossover record all over the world, and in fact, it came out in America on the same label as So Many Men. They were very quick hits in quick succession of each other. Hazel went on then to become the protege of Stock Aitken Waterman, and the whole high energy pop boom was born, which led to Kylie Minogue and Jason Donovan and all those other people taking the music to a huge pop level right through the rest of the 80s. But certainly, after So Many Men, the big high energy crossover record, the big pop crossover. In fact, because So Many Men didn't cross over pop in England, I think Searching would have been the first real crossover high energy record in England.
During my travels in America with Michael Brown, another artist on TSR Records became a great friend of mine. Our paths used to cross because she sang high energy as well, and her song was Searching.
Searching and seeking, never sleeping. I've got to find me a man. I want no disguises, just surprises. Someone who I'll understand. I don't need a guy who'll spend only one night, then tell me he's got no more time. I'm looking for someone to share my life. I better move on down the line. Searching, looking for love all the time I can. Searching, looking for love. I've got to find a man. Some guys excite me, but don't invite me. They don't even notice, it seems. Oh, I'm always waiting, anticipating. I long for the man of my dreams. He needn't be handsome, have fortune or fame. He just gotta be sweet and kind. But there's so many wanting or needing the same. I gotta move on down the line. Searching, looking for love all the time I can.
Another example of Ian's recycling of his groups from the 1970s was Croisette. We did a track called Landslide with Tracy Ackerman singing lead vocal. Landslide was based on a song that Ian and I had previously done called There's No Cure for Me, which for whatever reason we didn't get a release on. But Ian had liked the song so much, we reworked it as Landslide.
I'd been keen to make a record for a long time with my good friend Ian Levine, who'd had so much success with Record Shack. Eventually, I tempted him into working with Tracy Ackerman, who was a very well-known session singer of the time, had a fantastic voice and still does. The record was Landslide, and originally it was planned to be a Tracy Ackerman release, but at the last minute, Tracy, whose heart really lay more in soul and funk, decided she didn't want to be the name on the release. So we decided to put it out by Croisette, who were a band that Ian had had success with back in the 70s.
During the golden disco of the 70s, I formed a group called Croisette for AVI Records in America, and we had some huge disco hits like Keep It On Ice and Under Hypnosis. The group sort of lapsed, and then I was working with Record Shack for several years, and we had a bit of a fallout, and I decided to go my own way and form my own company. I had to sit out my contract until it was finished at the end of 1985. So the first thing I did in January '86 was rush in for Ann Plaxton at Passion Records, who begged me to make a record for them, and until that point I hadn't been able to. So come January '86, I rushed into their studio in Chertsey and made this record called Landslide for Tracy Ackerman, who was a well-known session singer who'd been singing with Shack Attack. Tracy loved it, but decided that she wanted to be making R&B and funk, and she didn't want to have a name on a record that was high energy. So she said, look, it's fine, put it out, but don't put it out as Tracy Ackerman. So Anne said, what shall we call it? So of course I said, yeah, well, I had a great group called Croisette, let's just call it Croisette. So Croisette was reborn. The problem is that there was no Croisette. It wanted to become a massive hit, was one of the biggest high energy anthems, #1 on Record Mirror's new high energy chart. It came out in America on Achievement Records. Everybody wanted to see Croisette, and there wasn't a group, so we had to go and find one. So Paul Savory to the rescue, went out and got some friends of his together, and we actually formed a group called Croisette, put them out on the road, and we had a proper group performing and making lots more records after that.
I went down to a couple of my friends at Heaven and said, do you fancy doing this on stage for the Nightmare on Villiers Street night? They brought along a couple of friends of theirs. They were choreographed by a friend of Ian's, and they became Croisette from that moment on. Here they are doing Landslide, again from the Nightmare of Villiers Street night.
Landslide, the whole world's falling down around me, yeah. Landslide, you got me, and you're heading for victory.
Daryl Pandy became another big diva of the gay scene because he was outrageous, massively funny, great voice singer. He was on Love Can't Turn Around originally. Ian thought it was great vocals and decided to do a track with him called Animal Magnetism.
There was a period in the 80s where high energy was at its peak, but there was this new form of Chicago house music coming along on the scene as well. And one of the pioneers on that scene was Steve Silk Hurley and Farley Jack Master Funk. And one of the records they collaborated on was a Farley Jack Master Funk record called Love Can't Turn Around, featuring this incredible, huge singer called Daryl Pandy. And at the New Music Seminar that particular year, Daryl Pandy was the larger-than-life character who was around at that particular time. And so Ian thought it was a good time, as I was working with him at that particular moment, I still remember, he thought, he is the artist I really need to get on Nightmare Records, which was his high energy label at the time. And so he cut this record called Animal Magnetism, which, even though the record wasn't as commercially successful as Love Can't Turn Around, it created this legend in one line of the song, which was called Stick Me With a Fork. And no one could believe that there could be this track with a vocal in it that says stick me like a fork, and everyone just always remembers that line.
Daryl Pandy was utterly outrageous, larger than life. He was the voice on Farley Jack Master Funk's Love Can't Turn Around, which was one of those records, Farley Jack Master Funk with Marshall Jefferson featuring Daryl Pandy. It was one of those names we kind of, when we made the first ever UK house record, we sort of did a take-off on it. But I wanted to work with Daryl himself. It was like a drag queen version of Patti LaBelle, if anything. I mean, he was as camp as they come, like a really outrageous character. I wanted a lot of money for recording, but it was worth it at the time because he was in the charts and had such a big hit. He went on Top of the Pops to perform Love Can't Turn Around, and the switchboard was flooded with complaints because he lay on the floor, rolling around, kicked his shoes off into the air and everything, and people were just grossed out by it, but I thought it was hysterically funny. Anyway, we put out Animal Magnetism, and it was one of the early records on Nightmare Records, and although it never actually went pop, it sold enough. I mean, I think it sold 15,000 in the first week. These days, if you do 15,000 in the first week, you're going to be top 5. It's amazing that we could sell those quantities back then and not actually chart, because we certainly sold some records and had some success.
I remember having to go to Nottingham to collect Daryl, where he was appearing up there. He was always a bit of a handful, shall we say. And I had to feed him Kentucky Fried Chicken all the way to the studio, where he went in, sang the record in about 5 minutes, left and wanted to be fed Kentucky Fried Chicken all the way back to Nottingham again. That was Animal Magnetism.
I'll stand for hours in the rain.
I owe an awful lot to Barbara Pennington's 24 Hours a Day. When I first was making Northern Soul records, I went to Chicago to audition for artists, and I found Evelyn Thomas, LJ Johnson and Barbara Pennington. Straight off in England, Evelyn and LJ had hits and were number 24 and 25 in the charts on the same week. Barbara Pennington never had a hit at first, but went on to have a bigger hit in America than any of them in 1976 when we recorded a disco anthem called 24 Hours a Day, which didn't actually get released in America until 77 on United Artists and went to number 1 on the Billboard's disco charts and stayed there for 7 weeks. One of the greatest records ever produced, and I'm still remembered in America for making it to this day.
High Energy was obviously the anthem for high energy music. When Eurobeat took over, Ian decided that he wanted to make another record that was the anthem for Eurobeat. So made You're a Beat with Eastbound Expressway.
How do you repeat the success of a record like High Energy? The music was called High Energy, so we made a song called High Energy. I wanted to do it again. We've been changing the name of the music. People were calling it Eurobeat. This was 2 years later in 1986, and we needed something fresh. High Energy was still High Energy, but we needed to call it something else. So I came up with this incredible idea, Eurobeat. I kept thinking, how can I get the word Eurobeat into a title? And it came to me in a flash of inspiration, You're a beat. So we came up with these incredible lyrics, you're a beat, you're a rhythm in my feet, and I'm dancing with them, a bit like the old Northern Soul kind of lyrics. And the group was born. Eastbound Expressway had actually been another sort of group I'd had in the 70s that had never really developed, but we thought these three fabulous girls. You're a Beat was a hit all over Europe, again not a pop hit in England, but sold phenomenally well, and was snapped up again by the ever-astute Anne Plaxton, who was trying to make Passion the next record shack.
After the release of Landslide, I was keen to do another record with Ian, and the first project that came along was You're a Beat by Eastbound Expressway. You're a Beat, in case anyone hasn't twigged, was a play on the words Eurobeat. Because though the music was largely known as high energy, a lot of people internationally were beginning to christen it Eurobeat. So we thought it would be a nice idea to actually have a defining song, much as High Energy by Evelyn Thomas had been, and the Eastbound Expressway release, You're a Beat, became that track.
And I'm dancing with them.
Carol Gianni, who'd become famous for Hit and Run Lover, then was discovered in America by Paul Savory, who came out raving about her to Jeff and Howard at Record Shack and to me, and so we signed her to Record Shack at the time. Then Record Shack had closed down, and I decided to MCA and made a couple of records with her for MCA, and then one of the tracks actually was this song, Turning My Back and Walking Away, which they put the first single out on MCA, Such a Joy Honey, and then decided that, I think the managing director had left and it all changed. So as they hadn't paid for it, I put it out on my own label, Nightmare Records, and had probably the biggest selling record on Nightmare. Carol, as outrageous as ever, I remember performing it on the Nightmare Night at Heaven in a wig that made Tina Turner's wig look small. I mean, she looked outrageous that night, but she was fabulous.
Through my association with Carol Gianni, when she left MCA Records, she made Turning My Back and Walking Away for Ian's Nightmare Records. It was by far the largest selling single on the label, and was actually my favourite. I loved that. At the time, Carol kind of thought she was Tina Turner, so the hair is big, the makeup is bigger, and Carol is bigger still.
To be alone, I'm turning my back and all the pain. No one will ever make me feel this way. Do you know how long I had to sit here waiting on him? Those long, lonely nights. And you know what? One day I sat down and realized and said to myself, girl, I've got to get me some independence here. Because this has gone on for too long, honey. You're cheating me, lying to me, squandering my money. You're nowhere to be found. And I just sit here spending those long, very long, lonely nights. Ooh, you make me so mad. I'm not going to take anymore. I'm just going to stand up and I'm going to turn my back and just walk away. Cause you and I are through. I've taken all that I can stand.
Evelyn Thomas's follow-up to the 7 million selling High Energy was a song called Masquerade, which, although a floor filler, the same as its predecessor, didn't quite make the same impact, and although it was a moderate hit, couldn't match up to the sales figures of High Energy.
Masquerade was the official follow-up to High Energy. At the time, Record Shack decided that they were going to make their first video, and took Evelyn into the studio and actually made a video for High Energy on the same day, plus another one for somebody else. It was a bit of a sausage factory affair. And while it records what went on at the time, this video wouldn't exactly win any awards today.
We were really in a bind because we'd sold 7 million records with High Energy and we didn't know what the hell to do with the follow-up. We kept trying to record things and maybe we did it too quickly, I don't know, but Masquerade was the favourite at the time, so we put it out. Unfortunately, High Energy sold 7 million. Masquerade scraped into the English charts at number 60. It was, because it had been so big in Germany, I think it was definitely a top 30 hit in Germany, but nowhere was it as big or as popular as High Energy. Now, should we have waited years for another follow-up, or should we have put it out? I don't know. Record Shack, flush with the success of High Energy, spent a lot of money on the video. They went in a proper video studio and did a proper video with Hot Gossip doing all the dancing and everything. And I thought the video looked a little bit cheesy for the money they spent on it, but I mean, it's still a wonderful piece of 80s kitsch.
Flushed with the success of a big hit with High Energy, we tried again with Evelyn Thomas and we did a track called Masquerade, which unfortunately was not a big hit. But anyway, here's the video, glittery dress and all.
I can't handle it if you're not there. I couldn't settle for less.
February 1984 we created this, and here we are all these years later, still with the original master tape here, able to recreate it and separate the sounds bit by bit. And of course the most integral thing to high energy of all was the bass drum, walloping away. It was a big running joke at Trident because whenever anyone was mixing in the studio on a high energy record, wherever you were in the building, you'd hear that boom, 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 thudding and shaking the walls all over the building. And the snaring, but that bass drum, as people always used to say, the bass drum comes first. Everything matters around the bass drum in the high energy era. Of course, these days we don't mix anything with anything like as prominent a bass drum, but then we had to. The thing about high energy is it had two basses. It had the one bass going with the bass drum, monotonic, in a monotone, robotic. So it just wallops with the bass drum, giving it the beat. Then we had the second one to create the track around, so you add to that. And all the time that bass drum's there, walloping away. The hi-hat gives it more ready, you start to move your feet. And then we got that chug chug chug, chug chug chug, chug chug chug, chug chug chug. Driving the track.
High energy music is a form of disco music, but with a much faster beat. Usually sung, I would say, predominantly more by female vocalists, the likes of Michael Brown, Hazel Dean, and Candy Staton, lots more.
And the build up. And the synthesizers coming in. We call it ABBA here. Go. Almost like reggae, it bounces off the beats. The rhythm dun, 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 bouncing back away from the bass drum, in between the beats. And the whole arrangement. And the strings. Vocals. Shirley and Dee Lewis, the Lewis sisters. All of which is nothing without Evelyn herself. The vocal that soared to the stratosphere. The vocal that the whole track was built around. The song was written for her that she could go high. How many singers could do those high notes for Evelyn Thomas?
People preferred females that had distinct, strong vocals. Lots of percussion breaks, lots of strings, pianos, well, everything in it, or in all the musical instruments you could think of.
Nice bit of orchestral, synthesised brass and strings. And they were very synthesised in those days. Remember, 20 years ago. Big bit of orchestral, like the old disco days. Leading into a complete breakdown with the vocal just teasing you over the edge. So we'll go back to the rhythm.
High energy was a progression from the disco music of the 70s to the electronic music of the 80s, but adding the disco diva, black, usually female singer vocals, people like Donna Summer with the Giorgio Moroder productions of records like I Feel Love. That was a typical example of the early high energy records. They usually featured electronic bass, sequence lines with a high speed dugga 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 sort of feel, and that is high energy really.
High energy is exciting, no holds barred dance music, which just made you feel good. It was fast, energetic, lots of screaming, lots of good female vocals.
Wait for those rhythms to come back in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Combination, you've got claps, cowbell, big synth. It's all we want you, we want you, we want you for a new recruit. It's all based on the Navy.
High energy to me is an actual extension of Motown disco music of the 70s. It's kind of a, an electronic version of disco, if you like. As new technology was coming in the 80s, keyboard sounds were replacing strings, and keyboards were replacing everything, live drums, even you can get a guitar sound, percussion. And high energy stems from disco, and it's just an electronic version of it. That's how it started anyway.
Still sounds great. 20 years later, still sounds wonderful. It was just #1 on the dance charts recently as we made this. New version all over again, 20 years later.
Another soulful band to come out of England was Jigsaw, back in the 70s with Sky High, which is later in the 80s came out on PWL, was remixed by Stockhaven and Waterman, and became another massive club anthem.
I'm Clive Scott from Jigsaw. I was the original keyboard player in the band, and along with Des Dyer, who was the singer and the drummer, we together wrote most of the material for the band. Our biggest hit was a song called Sky High. This was written in 1975, and it was the theme tune to a film called The Man from Hong Kong. We, by chance, bumped into a man from Universal Pictures at the time. It was called Leeds Music in London. We bumped into him in a pub, and he said, "Oh, you two write songs, don't you?" He said, "We're desperate for a new theme tune for this film we've got to come out. If you can write it in 2 days, and get us the demo." I think this was on a Friday. They need to have the demo by the Monday or Tuesday the following week. If we like it, we'll use it. So over the weekend we wrote the song. Monday morning we went in the studio, did a demo, presented it, and they said yes. And by the Wednesday I think we had the full orchestra in, about 35-piece orchestra, and the song was recorded. It was used in the film, and it went on to become a major hit around the world. #1 twice in Japan, still the second biggest selling record of all time in Japan. It was the top 3 in America, #1 in Australia, Germany, big hit in England, worldwide success.
If any one single record influenced the whole high energy boom, it was Jigsaw's Sky High. So much so that I found the writer and keyboard player from Jigsaw, Clive Scott, and made him my writer and producer partner after I stopped working with Fiacre Trench. And everything, probably from the last 10 years that I've worked on, has been done with Clive Scott from Jigsaw. Sky High was quite simply the pioneering disco high energy record of all time. If you listen to it from the mid-70s in context, it isn't just a disco record, it's got all the elements of high energy. So much so that Stock Aitken Waterman remixed it and had another hit with it in the 80s during the high energy boom. And then it was remade in America by Cole Strew with Critique Records. It's just been so big and so popular. It went on to sell 10 million records in Japan and be the biggest selling Western record ever in Japan. So we had to have Sky High by Jigsaw on this High Energy Classics.
stone. I gave you love. I thought that we had made it to the top. I gave you all I had to give. Why did it have to stop? You blown it all sky high by telling me a lie. Well, there's a reason why you blown it all sky high. You blown it all sky high. Our love had wings to fly. We couldn't touch the sky. You blown it all sky high. You blown it all sky high by telling me a lie. Well, there's a reason why you blown it all sky
Michael Brown from Detroit introduced us to a fellow American, Erlene Bentley. She's from New York, and we made a record with her, The Boys Come to Town, which was used in the first Police Academy film and had that great line, and hey big boy, why don't you come up and see me sometime? Then for Champion Records we worked again with Erlene, and she made the record Point of No Return.
Once Record Shack had had a hit with So Many Men, So Little Time by Michael Brown, the second high energy record they put out was by Michael's friend Erlene Bentley, who was an American singer performing in stage shows in London. She had an infectious laugh and very camp style, so we did a song called The Boys Come to Town, and her opening line, hey big boy, why don't you come up and see me sometime, was so popular that the Police Academy film used it for their famous scene set in the gay bar in the first Police Academy movie. Erlene went on to have 4 classic records for Record Shack. She had I'm Living My Own Life, Caught in the Act, and Stargazing, which was a duet with the late Sylvester, who was another legend of the high energy era.
I'm gonna be whoever I choose to be. That's why I know I can't go wrong. My time is my own and I will be free. My philosophy is steady and strong.
Another big floor filler for 7th Avenue was The Love I Lost, originally recorded by Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. A great floor filler, and although not a big hit, it was re-recorded several years later by Sybil, and that was an enormous hit.
At one point it was a running joke that the lineup of 7th Avenue seemed to change every time we did a new record, and it was probably true actually. When 7th Avenue had moved from Record Shack to Nightmare, Ian decided to re-record one of his favourite Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes songs called The Love I Lost. He updated the sound, and the record was great. It was released on Atlantic in the US and became a big hit on the dance charts in Billboard.
7th Avenue had lots of records after Love's Gone Mad. Probably the biggest one was The Love I Lost, the old Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes song. The song was such a disco classic that we had to cover it into a high energy record. Funnily enough, Atlantic Records in America heard it. It was on the club charts as an import. And the guy, Ken Commissar from Atlantic, phoned me up in England and said, "Are you coming to America?" So I flew over to Miami to see my mother, and he came down from New York to Miami especially to see me and signed the record up on the spot. So it came on Atlantic. I think it was the first Nightmare record to actually be a hit in America. It was a big hit on the American dance charts and was very successful.
First ever house record to come out of England was by a band called Midnight Sunrise. It was On the House, which featured Jackie Raw on vocals, and in the mixing line was Nelly Mixmaster Rush.
By the summer of 1986, I was very established as a high energy producer, and every year Billboard magazine had a thing called the New Music Seminar, which was a sort of disco club get-together for everybody involved in the dance music side of the music industry. And in 1986, they put me on a panel alongside Farley Jackmaster Funk, who at that time hadn't had any hits. He'd just made his record called Love Can't Turn Around on a little tiny Chicago label, and it was 4 or 5 months away from crossing over pop, which I think he did in November of 1986. I was so excited about house music, and so was my friend Damon Rochford, who I'd just worked with on the Sharon D. Clarke record, Dance Your Way Out the Door, that we decided to come back and make the first ever UK house record.
On the gay scene today, house music is embraced as fully as high energy was back in the 80s. And during that crossover period where the house sound was coming in, that was that time that we were all in New York for the seminar with Daryl Pandy and Farley Jackmaster Funk. In fact, I was on a panel along with Ian, Farley and some other pioneers of the house sound, talking about this new phenomenon that was kind of looking to take over from high energy. And one of the things that Ian did straight after that trip was to come back into the UK and create this group called Midnight Sunrise and cut a track called On the House, which is, in fact, the first ever UK house record. Now, the interesting thing about Midnight Sunrise being the first UK house record is if you look at the sleeve, all the people involved with the record were players on the high energy scene, from Anne Plaxton, who ran Passion, from Paul Savoury, who worked at Record Shack and now runs Heaven, myself, who took over from Anne, and Ian Levine himself, who produced the record.
House music was just starting in the UK, and Ian had decided to put a band together called Midnight Sunrise. I have to admit that I was one of the founder members of Midnight Sunrise and appeared on the sleeve of the record, both in the UK and in the US, where it was released on Warner Brothers. However, I did refuse to do the video through modesty's sake.
The one and only time I've made my own debut on disc was with a project of Ian's called Midnight Sunrise. It does have the distinction of being the very first UK house record ever made, and it was made shortly after the big explosion in Chicago house. For the record sleeve, Ian dragged me kicking and screaming down to Berman and Nathan's to hire a Gangsters Mall outfit because we figured that the Chicago scene deserved some Chicago gangsters for its image. We had great fun doing that session, and it did appear on the sleeve, but when the video opportunity came up, I decided to keep rather a low profile.
The interesting thing is it's so popular now, like 18 years later, it's like worth £50 a copy if you can find one now, because it's on this tiny little label that no one could get hold of. But at the time, the interesting thing was once we made it, we got Farley Jackmaster Funk to do a mix. So we got Midnight Sunrise featuring Nelly Mixmaster Rush, mixed by Farley Jackmaster Funk. It was quite a mouthful.
Evelyn Thomas had made a record called Standing at the Crossroads for Record Shack. After Nightmare had been formed, Ian bought the rights back from Record Shack to release it as a single because he always felt that it should have come out as a single and never had. Evelyn had met a guy called Richard Weiner, who was the road manager for the Village People because of Record Shack's association with Sex Over the Phone by the Village People, etc., etc. And Richard had decided that he wanted to look after Evelyn, and the video for Standing at the Crossroads was shot by Richard Weiner, who was actually in the video very briefly in New York.
Evelyn Thomas did a track called Standing at the Crossroads, which was the title of her second album, which was more of the European side of high energy market. It wasn't house, it wasn't out and out high energy, but it was like a mid-tempo style. It did well, and she did a good job on the vocals with it, and was appreciated by a lot of people.
Our fourth album with Evelyn Thomas was called Standing at the Crossroads. This was the follow-up to the album High Energy. And one side of that album, it was a Reflections medley, and the other side included this song, Standing at the Crossroads.
Evelyn Thomas made two albums for Record Shack, the High Energy album and the second album, Standing at the Crossroads, which contained the Reflections suite. It was originally to be called Reflections, but they changed the title. Very lovely sleeve. I was always sorry the song didn't come out as a single, so when I formed Nightmare Records, I bought the track back off Record Shack to put it on Nightmare. She was so excited about this that she went out in New York with her, she had a manager then called Richard who passed away since, and he was also looking after the Village People at the time. And they made this video themselves, wonderful video, Standing at the Crossroads, which I'm very proud of.
Damon Rochford, journalist friend of Ian's, introduced us to Sharon D. Clarke, an actress. She'd been in The Singing Detective. More recently, she's been in the London cast of The Lion King. And we made a record with her, Dance Your Way Out of the Door.
My friend Ralph T was the editor of The Street magazine, which I used to write the high energy page for with Damon's help. We called it Eurobeat. The Street folded. It was owned by Morgan Khan, and he ran into financial debts and closed the magazine down. So Ralph went to work for Arista Records, which is now part of BMG. And he ran the dance division of Arista. Damon Rochford, who was like another sort of protege of mine who was destined for greatness. In fact, he went on to become Nomad. He'd found this singer, Sharon D. Clarke, who of course eventually became the lead singer of Nomad, and he wanted me to make him a record on it called Dance Your Way Out the Door. He even came up with the title of the song. So we made this song called Dance Your Way Out the Door, and we put it out as a single in America. A friend of mine, Paul Klein, liked it so much he rushed it out as a 12-inch on a label called Achievement. Ralph T heard this and wanted it so badly that he got Arista Records to sign it. So they signed it and had a sort of medium-sized hit with it, which Tony Blackburn on Radio London championed, and it became his record of the week. So it was, along with records like Close to Affection by Michael Brown and On a Crowded Street by Barbara Pennington, it became one of those Radio London soul crossovers that the high energy market championed.
In the late 80s, I worked for Arista Records, running their dance department and black music department. And Tony Blackburn had a show on Radio London, a daytime morning show that was really, really popular. Sharon D. Clarke had cut this record with Damon called Dance Your Way Out of the Door, which originally came out in America on a small Miami label. And Tony Blackburn picked up this record and started playing it every single day on his Radio London show. As a result of that, I was very keen to sign it to Arista, and in fact, that's what happened. The song came out on Arista. Unfortunately, the week it did, Arista Records completely fired all their sales team, which meant that instead of the record going in top 10, possibly top 20, it only just slotted in just beyond the top 40, which was a bit of a disappointment.
One of the singers who is very dear to me from the past and from the future as well is Sharon D. Clarke. She sang lead vocals on the biggest hit of my career, which was Devotion, which came out on Rumour Records back in 1991. Nomad was the creation of Damon Rochford. In case nobody knows, Damon and Nomad are the same if you reverse them. And the first record that Sharon ever sang on was something that Damon had released with Ian producing via Arista. It was called Dance Your Way Out of the Door.
I saw you the way I want.
I didn't play that many slow records at the clubs where I worked, as it was mostly high energy, but one good slow record I did play was Close to Perfection by Michael Brown, which for a slow record really always packed the floor.
Sean Buchanan, highly respected DJ at the Saints, came to Ian with a number of records. The dance tempo was slowing down quite a lot, and Ian played these records to me as a sort of template, shall we say, of a new direction we should take. And so with Michael Brown we made the track Close to Perfection.
By 1984-85, high energy was changing slightly. Clubs in New York like the Saint, the most popular feature was like the late spot from 8 in the morning till noon, which everybody raved about because they played what was called sleaze music. Sleaze, in that it wasn't sleazy, it was quite sophisticated and orchestrated with wonderful strings. But sleaze meaning that the tempo was sleazier, slower, more down tempo. It became the big in thing, sleaze music. The DJ at the Saint was an English guy called Sean Buchanan, who was a very good friend of mine, who had wonderful taste in music. He sadly died of AIDS a few years later, but he came to me at the time and he said, Ian, I want you to make us a record for the Saint by Michael Brown, who made So Many Men. I want a slower record. He played me about 10 records that he wanted it to be like. So I went back and I made Close to Perfection specially for Sean Buchanan, and it became the sleaze anthem of the Saint. And it crossed over pop and was again championed by Tony Blackburn, and everybody that was into either soul or high energy, which don't normally mix, liked this record, and became the title of her album on Record Shack and became one of the great anthems of the period.
Sean Buchanan, the DJ at the Saint, played Ian some records that they played late at night, which they called sleaze music. It was more melodic, slower tracks. Ian then came up with a track called Close to Perfection, played it to Michael Brown, she loved it, and he recorded it with her. Sent it over to Sean Buchanan at the Saint. It became overnight success, a huge record. In fact, I remember Michael performing it at the Saint one night. I was there. It was championed in the UK by Tony Blackburn on the radio, and became a chart hit here in the UK. It remains one of Michael's favourite records I know.
Our love will stand the test of time, sweeter than the honey from the bees. When you're not here, a song won't rhyme, and the birds don't sing in the trees. You can make the sun come out, without you the sky is gray. Love and laughter's what you're about. Don't you ever go away. Close to perfection, close to perfection. We have reached a new direction, on our way to affection. Every day can feel like spring. You have the power to make me glow. Suddenly the bells start to ring. Life becomes a Broadway show. You make music fill the air like a symphony of love. I can see rainbows everywhere, lighting up the sky above. You're close to perfection, close to perfection. We have reached a new direction, on our way to affection. It's a feeling I won't replace, a lifetime you and I can share. You're close to perfection, close to perfection. We have reached a new direction on our way to affection.
David Inches, the manager of Heaven in 1983, told Ian Levine about a singer that he was going to have on there on a Saturday night, Sunday night, called Laura Pallas. When Ian turned up, there was this great big Jewish mama with a personality to match, and Ian was blown away by her performance. She subsequently went on to Record Shack when Record Shack wanted to make a Christmas record for 1983.
Laura Pallas was the third diva to be signed to Record Shack. First was Michael Brown, then Erling Bentley, and then we needed Laura Pallas. I was working at Heaven, and the manager of Heaven, David Inches, had discovered this great singer, Laura Pallas, who'd been produced by Edwin Starr, who I'd known for years. Made a couple of tracks on her. She was this big, fat Jewish mama with an enormous belting voice, and she was just waiting to happen and just needed discovering. I got assigned to Record Shack. I was raved about it, and I actually teamed up with Ian Stevens, who just produced Hazeldene's Searching, and we made a record together on Laura Pallas. We covered the old Northern Soul classic Skiing in the Snow by The Invitations, gave it a high energy beat with huge timpanis and a stomping beat, and it became one of the anthems of 1984. I think as I recorded, it was recorded at Christmas of 1983 and rushed out in early 1984, and was one of the very early Record Shack hits.
What can I say about Laura Pallas? A larger-than-life woman, and every time I played her record, Skiing in the Snow, I could just see her in her ski outfit. She was rather a large lady, hurtling down the Alps. Wonderful picture to conjure up.
as with Passion Records, the company I worked for also managed Shack Attack, who were one of the leading jazz funk acts of the 80s. One of the lead singers of Shack Attack was Jackie Raw. And she also made one of the major energy records of the time. It was a track called I Believe in Dreams, which came out on Fanfare Records.
A friend of ours, Marvin Howell, who went on to have ERC Records, through the very famous Simon Cowell, recorded I Believe in Dreams with Jackie Raw. Jackie was also a singer with Shack Attack. These Shack Attack girls seems to have a sideline re-recording and recording songs for High Energy Records. I Believe in Dreams was a huge success. It was #1 on the Billboard chart, I think, on the dance chart, and I love this song.
I was alone, going nowhere, lost in a world that didn't seem to care. I was afraid until you came. Now I feel alive because of you. I feel the wonder of all you do. Baby, it's true, you're everything. Now I can believe the love I feel in me, and the music I can hear when you take me, touch me, hold me, love me, change it to a fantasy. I believe in dreams, believe in dreams. This is the time I've waited for. Now I can feel what love means. I believe in dreams, believe in dreams. Don't let me go. You know you're my everything. Now I feel your love inside of me. My spirit tells me love must be free, not just a game, but everything. Now I can't believe that love's a mystery, 'cause the world that I can see when you take me, touch me, hold me, love me, change it to a fantasy. I believe in dreams, believe in dreams. This is the time I've waited for. Now I can feel what love means. I believe in dreams, believe in dreams. Don't let me go. You know you're my everything. Hey, yeah, yeah.
Our follow-up from Michael Brown to So Many Men, So Little Time was He's a Saint, He's a Sinner. And in spite of the fact that So Many Men, So Little Time was a massive hit and we sold an estimated 2 million records, and He's a Saint, He's a Sinner sold a mere 30,000. Ironically, So Many Men, So Little Time didn't appear in the UK charts, whereas He's a Saint, He's a Sinner actually did make it into the charts.
Michael Brown was a real trooper. She really believed in the old adage, the show must go on. And 2 days after coming out of hospital, filmed what you're about to see. He's a saint, he's a sinner. And she was obviously in a great deal of pain, which is why she doesn't do much moving about. You'll see the dancers do most of the moving. But I think you'll agree with me that the performance is fantastic anyway.
Rich man, poor man, beggar man, thief. My baby changes like the weather. Tinker, tailor, soldier, spy. Don't matter long as we're together. Tall or short, young or old. He's my ray of sunshine. Whether he's good or whether he's bad, I know he's mine, oh mine. He's mine. Yes, he's Doctor, lawyer, fireman, chief. I don't care how he earns his money. Weak or strong, smooth or rough, he makes my days sunny. Serious or joking around, his time is always my time. All the hottest men in the world couldn't tempt me from that land of mine. He's He's a saint, he's a sinner, he's my all-time winner. He's a saint, he's a sinner, he's my all-time winner. Oh yes, yes he is, you know he is, yes he Casanova and Romeo too couldn't compete with my lover. Whether he frowns or whether he smiles, I couldn't look at another. Brown hair, blonde hair, dark or fair, his love was there on the line. So my friends say they don't see much. He's that GQ model of mine. He's He's a sinner, he's my all-time winner. He's a saint, he's a sinner, he's my all-time winner. Yes he is, you know he is, yes he is.
In the late 80s, Ian Levine produced a few tracks with Jigsaw, one of which was a song called Let's Not Say Goodbye, which is influenced by Sky High.
Jigsaw had been so popular with Sky High, which had been such a pioneering high energy record, that when I formed Nightmare Records, I decided to get Jigsaw back together again and do a tribute to Sky High called Let's Not Say Goodbye. Even the title, Let's Not Say Goodbye, you know, Jigsaw's still going kind of thing because of the popularity, enduring popularity of Sky High. So we did Let's Not Say Goodbye in the same style and same lead singer, Des Dyer, and we flew over to Japan, and I remember being on interviews on Japanese radio and playing this record and premiering it there, and they loved it, and it came out a CD single in Japan and was a mini hit there. Carol Gianni, having had a big hit with Hit and Run Lover, Paul Savory persuaded everyone at Record Shack to sign her. So Jeff Weston had a track we'd done for Barbara Pennington called Vanity, which Barbara didn't want to put out because she wanted to do the more mid-tempo soul stuff. So Jeff said, right, you're doing it on Carol. So Carol came into the studio, did a great job, came out as a single and created one of the Record Shack high energy anthems.
Barbara Pennington had recorded an album called Out of the Darkest Night, and on that album there was a track called Vanity that Ian and I loved, but it was a high energy track and Barbara didn't want to be known for singing high energy. She saw herself more as a soul singer. So I brought along to Record Shack Carol Gianni, who'd previously done Hit and Run Lover and Mercy and various other things on a Canadian label. And Ian gave her a test run at this and loved her. He loved her voice, loved her performance, and it was eventually released as a single on Record Shack.
When I was DJing at Heaven, the biggest influence was the Saint in New York. The Saint was the high energy club. It held 4,500 to 5,000 people. It was in the village. It was unmarked. There was no sign outside that said the Saint. It was a black door. And unless you knew what was in there, you would have walked past it and not known anything. You had to physically know where to go. You couldn't walk in off the street. It was membership or invite only, and it was packed. And everybody in the world that was into high energy music went to the Saint. Their music stood for melodic glorious, up-tempo, joyous music. The biggest record ever at the Saint was a record on 20th Century by Cut Glass called Without Your Love. And every time when I went to the Saint, they would have this record on, and I went to a lot of trouble to get it because it was so rare. It came out in 1979, not really been noticed at the time and been deleted and was totally hard to get. There was a shop in New York called Vinyl Mania, owned by Charlie Rapone, who sold records to all the disco goers of New York. And whenever he had a copy, it was up on his wall for $200. Ralph T and I walked in and were amazed at the price this record was fetching. In the end, the only way I got a copy was to pay $200 and bring it back to England to play it at Heaven. It had been so big at the Saint, I had to have the record. Once you start playing it, everybody wants it, the demand was huge. The high energy scene wasn't like the Northern Soul scene in as much as records on the high energy scene usually were available, whereas the Northern Soul scene was about playing records you couldn't get anywhere. Cut Glass's Without Your Love was the exception. It was a record that no one could get and everybody wanted.
Now, the lead singer of Cut Glass was Orthea Barnes, this Detroit artist. And years later, when Ian was working in Detroit with a lot of the former Motown artists, he managed to persuade Orthea to come back into the studio and recut this particular song as a solo track.
No
This is yet another lineup of 7th Avenue. In this lineup, it's interesting to note that 2 out of the 3 performers went on to join yet another performer to form Big Fun for Stock Aitken and Waterman and enjoy hits like Blame It on the Boogie and Can't Fake the Feeling.
7th Avenue, the first boy band, kept changing lineups. The lineup that had done Love's Gone Mad had left, they changed their name to The Avenue, went their own way, and I formed a new lineup. This lineup went on to leave me and become Big Fun, but not before they went into heaven in very skin-tight cycle shorts and performed this song called The Right Combination.
A couple of years ago, through Simon Napier Bell and Ian Levine, I had the great privilege to meet Candy Staten, who's a lovely lady, and of course had huge success with Young Hearts Run Free. Ian decided that on the album we subsequently produced with her, that he was going to do a new track that was to be a pastiche of disco and high energy and all that kind of thing, all rolled into one.
We thought it would be fun to do something new with her. We found a song called Just When You Think It's Safe, which I think sort of crossed the bridge between high energy and the sort of more traditional soulful stuff that she was doing, like Young Hearts Run Free.
The classic by Candy Staten, Young Hearts Run Free, is one of the pioneering records that led to disco and high energy. And having got a chance to work with her years later, we decided to make a tribute to that record in the same style. So Clive Scott and I worked on this song we discovered called Just When You Think It's Safe. And we put together this whole performance and arrangement that echoed Young Hearts Run Free, but had lots of freshness as well. So it's like taking the pioneer of high energy and putting it into the new millennium, mixing old high energy with old disco, and doing a wonderful hodgepodge that deserves to be the grand finale of this DVD.
Your heart wants to stay. You soon forget it all. The moment a new love comes to call, you are convinced that you will never ever fall again. Just when you think it's safe to let your guard down, just when you think you finally turn your life round, just when you think how soon we forget. How can we be so blind? Somehow it gets inside your mind. Just when you thought that you had put it all behind you again. Just when you think it's safe to let your guard down. Just when you think you finally turn your life round. Just when you think you fall in love, just when you think it's safe to get your life back, just when you think you're on the right track, just when you think it's safe, you fall in love. Oh, that's what happens. As soon as you think you got it all together, there you go again. Just when you think it's safe to let your guard down, just when you think you finally turn your life round, just when you think it's safe, you fall in love. Oh yeah. Just when you think it's safe to get your life back, just when you think you're on the right track, just when you think it's safe, you fall in love. Yeah. Just when you think, well, just when you think it's safe, you fall in love.
High energy has stood the test of time. It's had its ups and downs, a bit like my own career, like a roller coaster, peaks and troughs. There have been periods when the charts are full of high energy records. There have been other periods when everything goes into funk and R&B and nobody wants to know, but there's always that underground buzz. People like Anne Plaxton, who ran Passion Records in the early days, took over, started Rumour Records, and she's still running high energy labels now and still having success on underground club level.
When I left Passion, I formed Rumour Records along with a friend, and we quickly decided to dedicate a label, Clone Records, to energy again, and we've had that label now for 10 years. It's going from strength to strength, and we are one of the leading labels in the world now for energy music.
I think there's still a certain amount of people that like high energy music. I think high energy albums still sell well. There are still a few independent companies still making high energy music, so obviously there is still a demand.
High energy music is still definitely relevant today. There's lots of elements from those early records still being used in current records. People like Sophie Ellis-Bextor, Kylie Minogue, people like this who are making modern disco records are using a lot of the elements from the early high energy records.
Like all things that become really passionate, they become introverted. And the danger with introversion is it becomes self-effacing. And one of the real problems that has always sort of been a problem for all musical genres is the good and the great think they're gooder and greater than anybody else. And the classic of this was, at the time we were doing dance records that were still in those days classed as sort of trendy dance records, like Princess. I sussed out that the good and the great usually decided they were good and the great by reading the record label and not really listening to the tune.
Nobody ever thought that high energy would last, and then it went through the techno phase. The Belgians doing it, and the Dutch. And then people were getting bored because it was the same thing again, so now they've gone back to doing high energy. There's so many DJs from the clubs that are producing stuff and remixing stuff, making them more commercial.
My personal preference is, of course, for high energy, and although it's evolved throughout the 20 years between then and now, it still is interesting to note that even the kids today that didn't know the songs when they came out in the disco era, even before high energy, still recognise the tunes and the words through remixes and remakes that have been done in the intervening years.
To be honest, I don't think high energy's really ever gone away. It started out as a particular scene in the 80s on the gay scene, but as that particular scene has moved on into house music, the essence of what the music is has been adopted by a lot of music and a lot of bands since, and you can still hear it today in records that chart #1.
It's still there in the charts, it's still popular, and I think that having gone through a sort of 15-year period of techno and house, I think it's coming back full force into high energy again. Wonderful up-tempo music with joyous melodies and uplifting arrangements that make you want to just rush onto the floor and dance. I mean, people can dance to a beat as much as they like, but there's no substitute for a great song. And these high energy records with their soulful vocals and powerful sort of Motown, Philly kind of arrangements and the melodies mixed with an electronic beat, I mean, they're timeless. They always were and they always will be.
Well, I think that, everything goes in cycles. Obviously, I was at the start of techno music. Ian Levine was at the start of high energy music. Right now, because these genres are so spontaneously happy and so spontaneously with a feeling of party and great fun, it is coming back because people in years of depression always want to have something which is exciting and happy rather than something which is gloomy. So although we see in America hip-hop taking over because it's obviously the reflection of what happened in the ghetto, we don't have that situation in Europe. And in Europe, I believe that techno music, which was and is still very big with the various new trends like Ibiza sound and all this, now high energy will definitely come back in a big way for the simple reason that it's party time.
Take it off. Take it all off. Sit down in front of the mirror and take off those eyelashes. Go on, peel them off one by one. Take off that mascara. Go on and wipe it off. Take off that makeup. Wipe it away from your face. Take that wig off your head. Take it off. Take it all off. And be your man. if you can.